The first time Lieutenant Aaron Vale saw her, she was alone in the corner of the refugee bay, chained by her wrists and surrounded by silence. Every other alien refugee on the transport ship sat together in nervous clusters, different colors, shapes, and languages, but they all kept a wide berth around her. The guards called her the outcast, and even the translator drones refused to hover near her. Aaron, a human medic with the United Terran Fleet, wasn't assigned to her section that day. But something about the way she sat, motionless, eyes dim but aware, stirred something inside him. She wasn't like the others. She wasn't panicked or begging for food. She looked like someone waiting for a sentence she already knew would be death. The report said her name was Karel of the Varanth species. Varan. Classified hostile. Varan. The species humanity had spent a decade fighting after the siege of Orion 4, the same war that took Aaron's brother. Most humans wouldn't have gone near her, and truthfully, he shouldn't have either. But Aaron was never good at following rules. Middle, Part 1, The Outcast. The transport was heading to Arrivo Station, a neutral outpost orbiting a dying sun, where alien refugees were processed for relocation. Aaron was part of the medical triage unit, treating malnutrition, radiation burns, and trauma. Most cases were easy, until Karel's turn came. When he stepped into her containment cell, the air shimmered faintly, a sign of the Varan's bioelectric field. Her eyes, deep silver with a faint pulse of bioluminescent veins, locked on his face. "Human," she said, her voice low, sharp, almost mechanical through the translator. "You should not approach me." Aaron gave her a small, cautious smile. "I'm a medic. You're bleeding. That overrides your bad reputation." She tilted her head, watching him like a hawk studies prey. "They told you what I am?" "Yes. But I don't care." "You should." Her arm was wrapped in crude bandages, burned from plasma fire. He could see where the skin had melted and healed unevenly, a wound weeks old, untreated. She didn't flinch when he began to clean it. The smell of antiseptic filled the small room. "You fought at Orion 4?" he asked quietly. She didn't answer, but her silence was enough. He had seen footage from that battle. Varan warships cutting through human fleets like they were paper, the sky burning for days. And yet here she was, sitting quietly, letting him work. When he finished dressing her wound, she looked down at the fresh bandages, then up at him. "You treat your enemies," she said slowly, "even when they have taken everything from you." "That's what makes us human," Aaron replied. Middle, Part 2, The Secret. Days passed. Karel remained isolated, refusing to eat or sleep much. Most of the crew whispered that she was dangerous, cursed even. One night, Aaron found graffiti scrawled outside her cell. "Monster," and the sight of it made his chest tighten. He cleaned it off himself. When he brought her a tray of food later, she stared at him, unblinking. "You cleaned it," she said. "I don't like seeing hate," he said simply. She regarded him for a long time, then unexpectedly asked, "Do humans hate what they fear?" "Most species do," Aaron said. "Then they will always fear me." He wanted to deny it, but she wasn't wrong. The Varan were powerful, feared across the galaxy for their psychic resonance, an energy that could disrupt neural pathways in other species. To many, they were living weapons. But Aaron saw something different. Beneath her composed exterior, she looked exhausted, haunted, broken. A week later, during a security sweep, a brawl erupted among the refugees. One of the guards shoved Karel, accusing her of provoking the fight. When she refused to defend herself, the guard raised his weapon. Aaron stepped between them before he even realized it. The guard froze. "Lieutenant, she's a hostile. You have no idea." "I have an idea," Aaron snapped. And I know you're not going to shoot an unarmed prisoner in front of me. He turned to Karel. Come with me. She hesitated, then stood. The murmurs that followed them down the corridor were laced with fear and disbelief, a human walking beside of Aaron. When they reached the medical bay, Aaron noticed a faint tremor in her hands. You could have fought back, he said. Why didn't you? Because it would prove them right, she whispered. Middle, Part 3. The Revelation. 2 nights later, the ship was ambushed. Pirates, human, not alien, attacked the refugee transport, hoping to steal its supplies and abduct the non-human passengers for trade. The lights went out. Explosions rocked the hull. Aaron sprinted toward the refugee bay, only to find it breached, decompression alarms blaring. He found Karel at the airlock door, her hands glowing faintly, her eyes pure silver. What are you doing? Aaron shouted over the sirens. Saving your ship, she said simply. Before he could stop her, she pressed her palms to the floor. A pulse of blue energy rippled through the deck. The ship's hull groaned, then sealed itself, molecular bonds realigning under her power. Aaron stared, wide-eyed. You can manipulate. Energy, metal, gravity, she said between breaths. Varen call it the resonance. You call it impossible. The pirate ships began to spin out of control as her power extended through the void. One by one, they drifted, engines dead, weapons cold. But when the battle ended, Karel collapsed, her body trembling. Aaron caught her before she hit the ground. You'll kill yourself doing that, he said. Better me than them, she murmured weakly. You humans, you do the same? He carried her to the medbay, heart pounding. The crew watched in stunned silence as the monster who had saved them lay unconscious on the table. Middle, Part 4. The Choice. In the aftermath, the captain ordered Karel to be restrained again for security reasons. Aaron protested, but it was useless. Lieutenant, the captain said, I appreciate your compassion, but she's dangerous. She used unknown technology aboard a fleet vessel. She saved us, Aaron shouted. She also nearly tore the ship apart. You can't trust something like that. Aaron turned away, jaw tight. When he visited Karel later, she was back in chains, her expression calm but her eyes sad. I told you they'd fear me, she said softly. Aaron kneeled beside her. Then I'll be the exception. Her gaze softened slightly. You risk too much, human. He smiled faintly. I've been told that before. That night, while the ship refueled at Arrivo station, Aaron made a decision that would change both their lives. He bypassed the security locks, opened her cell, and extended his hand. Come with me, he said. You don't deserve a cage. Karel stared at his hand, hesitating only for a heartbeat, before placing hers in his. Her skin was cool, faintly luminescent under the sterile light. Why? She whispered. Why risk your life for me? Because you already risked yours for everyone else. Ending Part 1, The Escape. They fled through the maintenance corridors, alarms blaring behind them. Security drones detected movement, and Aaron fired warning shots to slow them down. Karel stopped at a junction, her eyes glowing once again. I can mask our presence, she said. How? The resonance. It can bend light, sound. Aaron nodded, trusting her completely now. Do it. Moments later, they disappeared into the shadows, their outlines flickering into invisibility. They reached the docking bay and slipped aboard an old civilian shuttle. As the engines roared to life, Karel looked back through the viewport at the station receding into the blackness. I've been running for so long, she murmured, but never with someone beside me. Aaron smiled softly. Then maybe it's time to stop running. Ending Part 2. The Truth. As they drifted toward the outer systems, Carell finally told him the truth. She wasn't just any Varen. She had been a commander during the war, but she had defected after realizing her people's empire had turned genocidal. She tried to stop them, and for that, her own kind branded her a traitor. "The humans call me a monster," she said, staring out into the stars. "But to the Varen, I am worse, a betrayer." Aaron was silent for a long moment. Then he reached over, took her hand, and said softly, "Then you're exactly where you belong." She turned toward him, shocked, then smiling faintly for the first time. "Among humans?" "No," he said. "Among those who still believe people can change." Ending, Part 3, The Legend. Months later, whispers spread across the fringe worlds, a rumor about a human and an alien woman traveling together, healing colonies, fixing derelict ships, protecting the weak. Some said she was a Varen. Others said she was something else entirely. But every story ended the same way. She was the one they all feared until a human took her hand. And in his hand, she found something she had never known: belonging.